Welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is a Panzerkampfwagen B2 740F, which is the German version of the Char B1. It's a Tier 4 German premium heavy tank. It's located on the west spawn of Westfield, and it's under the command of RaySpruance. And the last time we saw him, he was in a Kpfw, which is actually another version of the same tank. Game started. Well, the Germans captured 161 Char B1s at the end of the Battle of France in 1940, and half of them were turned into tanks for the Germans with extra armour, and they removed the gun from the front, and the other half were turned into either flamethrower tanks or into artillery pieces. Well, only 16 were actually turned into the Kpfw. Oh, he's doing the bounce in and out thing again. Yes, have to take control of the camera when he does that, because it can be very, very disconcerting to some people. Yeah, they get seasickness, and well, Jingles doesn't like it either. So he takes control. Either that or he just doesn't do the replay. Okay, first target is a Panzer B2. So he's actually fighting one of his own versions at the moment. Oh, don't start bouncing around. Okay, so how does this tank fare against itself? Well, he should be able to do equally as well as that guy does. This tank has got a 47mm gun, which has got, well, 55mm of penetration. And you're seeing he's just going straight through the armour of that tank, but he is using the APCR, and he's taking him out. Now the standard rounds will do 52mm, 52 hit points of damage, penetration of 55. That's a French one, that one. And with the premium rounds, it does 90mm of penetration. Oh my god, there's a lot of Char B2s in this one, or Char B1s and B2s. So he's now got to take on one of his own again. After taking over on the last one and killing him, he's now got to kill this one as well. But he is getting pens, he's using the premium rounds, and he's gone as well. But he did lose 160 hit points in the process, and he's now, well, down to a third of his health. But he's still got one more heavy tank to take out, and that's also a Char B1. Gets one through the side. The sides of this vehicle, when they're side on, are very, very weak, but when they're slightly angled, are actually quite strong because they're very thick. It's kind of weird, actually. The fact is, the sides of this vehicle are very high profile, so they stand out quite easily as a big target. But the moment you actually angle the armour, they become incredibly thick in terms of the amount of armour that you've got to get through in order to get at the crew. Well, it looks like he's going to go up on top of this hill, shoot down on the enemy. You know, surprisingly, he didn't get the kill on one of those B2s. They were actually, one of them was killed by someone else, so he's still only got one kill. Okay, he's looking for a tank destroyer. There's a T56 over there somewhere, and also the FCM 36 Pack 40. That's a premium, and he's burning up his premium ammo. He really needs to think about that. He should be using standard ammo on those tank destroyers. Don't use the premium except on the B1. There's the FCM. Now that's a very dangerous tank destroyer, and he's not looking this way because he hasn't got any solution on the guy at all. So he could get closer. The T56 GMC could have the 57mm gun, in which case he's got a very fast fire rate, and he'll do a lot of penetration on enemy tanks. Looks like that B1 is being harassed by a Panzer T15, and we've finally got sight of the T56, and he's still using the premium ammo. You don't need to use the premium ammo. Yeah, just standard ammo will do on that thing. Very thin armour. Now T56 has gone over the same ridgeline. He's been wiped out. I have the feeling that FCM 36 Pack 40 just simply cannot see him. And now he's under fire, but we could only see the top of the vehicle. And the Panzer T-15's gone up to try and harass that FCM, and that can be dangerous for him by virtue of the fact that that Pak 40 is a 75mm gun with a lot of penetration. I'm going to take control of the camera again because he was going in and out, in and out. Okay, you've got you now. And now he does need to use the premium ammo, if only just to make sure that he finishes this guy off quickly. You can just penetrate it with standard ammo. In fact, the amazing thing was that at the Battle of Stone, the Germans fired, what was it, 120 rounds that actually hit a Char B1. None of them penetrated. None of them. So Panzer IIIs and Panzer IVs would have a great deal of difficulty trying to get through, but the 47mm gun was actually fairly good, and he actually took out the officer concerned. I think, was it Pierre Bilot? And that's where you get the Bilot medal. Bilot medal. He managed to take out 12 enemy tanks, 12 Panzer IIIs and Panzer IVs with his 47mm gun. I think they also used the 75mm, but obviously it takes you have to aim that with the driver, not the actual commander. Certainly the 75mm would be very effective against the Panzer IIIs and IVs, but it was a hull mounted gun and it was the driver who actually had control over where it was aiming. Well, he's now got the T6 medium, who's ducked behind that house, and the enemy's capping. And the T6 is gone. So I'll take control of the camera again, just in case he decides that he wants to go in, out a bit, and shake it all about. Yes, the English amongst you will know the reference. In, out, shake it all about. Do the hokey cokey. Yes, well, we've just lost our Bison, but they stopped capping, which probably was a bad decision because it's allowing RaySpruance time to get down to start firing at them. He's auto-aimed onto the target. No, he's actually manually aiming. And there's the Sexton. It's the Sexton 1, the premium one. Just drive straight in. He has got a 25-pounder with armor-piercing rounds, but the fire rate of the Char B2 is, or the Panzer B2, is actually crippling to the enemy. He'll just tear that guy to shreds. He's still using premium ammo. It's going to cost him at the end. And that's another kill, so he's now got 4 kills. And there's only one enemy remaining, and that poor guy is the Valentine. Now, the others are saying go to the cap, the enemy cap. The only other member of our team is a B1, the French version. We don't know where the Valentine tank is, but he can have a variety of different guns, depends which one. He could either have the 2-pounder or he could have a 6-pounder, and he could do some damage, but more than likely he will get taken down by 2 B1s fairly promptly, which might be why he's hiding. Now normally you'd actually have 112 rounds of ammunition. I think that was in the actual tank, or was it in the game? It's actually quite a big tank inside. It's almost like got a corridor running from the driver at the front, running down the side of the vehicle, and that's where that hatch is, to the engine, and of course the commander's in the cupola right at the top, and he's commanding the vehicle, and he normally would actually look through a hatch for the enemy and then duck inside as soon as they found the enemy. And he's tearing this Valentine to shreds, although he did have trouble with a couple of shots because he hit heavy armor, but he's now shredding him. One more shot? No, two more. Oh, didn't pen that one. And again. Oh, now this is awkward. That Valentine's firing at the B1, and we're having difficulty trying to pen him. And he gets him this time, and that wins the battle. Here's the end of battle results, and that was an ace tanker game for RaySpruance in the Panzerkampfwagen B2 740F, or just the B2 for short. He managed to get a Browser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He managed to get 11. He got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He actually ended up with 5, just one short of a Top Gun and 1/3 of the entire enemy team. A fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. A shell proof for blocking more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. He got a steel wall because he blocked over 1,000 hit points of damage and got the highest damage in the game and survived. And he also got the high caliber in the game as well for dealing the most damage on the enemy. And you can see this battle actually took place in April of last year. Yes, it's been waiting on my list to be done, and I am slowly getting through that list, and I will get around to those videos that people have sent in. So don't be discouraged. If you haven't seen your replay yet, it's probably in my list and it will be done eventually. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see when it came to damage, he was easily at the top of the table with this one. 2,374 hit points. And the next high scorer on the game was, in fact, the FCM 36 Pack 40 on our own team with 1,782, followed by the T6 Medium on the enemy team, 1,770. When it came to kills, he shared the top spot with the FCM 36 Pack 40. Yes, those things are rather deadly. They can be killed because the gun shield is actually part of the hitbox, and maybe that's a hint to Wargaming that if they make the gun shield part of the hitbox, maybe they should make the wheels on EBRs also part of the hitbox, which means that if you hit them, you not only get a critical hit, but you actually do slow the vehicle down, possibly make it stop, and also you would diminish their hit points in the process. Yes, that FCM 36 Pack 40 got 5, and so did RaySpruance, and 4 kills to the T6 Medium. When it came to base XP, he's easily at the top with this one. 1,484, 1,044 went to the FCM 36 Pack 40, and 711 went to the Panzerkampfwagen T15. But he didn't do much damage in that game. We can see that RaySpruance fired 81 rounds in that game, 71 direct hits and 48 penetrations. Damage of 2,374 hit points, of which 217 were at more than 300 meters. He received 20 hits from the enemy. Only 8 of those penetrated, 12 non-penetrations, and 664 hit points of damage blocked by armor. He damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 5, and did 421 hit points of damage assistance. On a free-to-play account, he earned 40,042 credits from the game, got 50,000 for the first win of the game, but after repair and ammunition resupply, he only took away 23,862 credits. So you can see quite clearly that if he'd not had that personal missions payout for the first win of the day, he actually would have made a substantial loss out of that game. Yes, because he actually would have made a loss of 27,000, so just under 27,000. So yes, I think actually that shows that you shouldn't use premium ammo all the time in this tank. You do need it to get through tanks of the same type, but you don't need it on other tanks such as the FCM 36 Pack 40 or the T56 Medium. Those things can be penetrated with standard ammo. 1,484 XP, base XP, times 2 for the first victory, 742 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 3,710 experience points altogether. One of the good things about this tank is that it only ever sees tier 4, so it's never going to come up against something like a KV1. And that makes it kind of fun, but it also actually makes it a bit OP, and well, it's a good job that it only sees tier 4, really, to be honest, because if this was seen by lower tier tanks, then I think they would have a bit of difficulty trying to take it down. It is quite a fun tank to have. I think a lot of people do get one. They either get one free when they purchase something else from the gift store, because they did offer this one for free, I think, a while back as an addition to buying some other tank. But it is almost as OP in many ways than the Panzerkampfwagen 2 Ausrung J, which is really OP, but that one's much more expensive. This thing's fairly cheap, but obviously now that Wargaming's completely ruined Arty, we're not advising you to buy anything from the gift shop ever again, because Wargaming needs to be starved of money until they convert Arty back to its former self. So I hope you enjoyed that game. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.